Hey, welcome back to the channel. So have you ever wondered why so many people stay stuck at pretty good when deep down they know they are destined for extraordinary, that they could be playing this game at such a higher level? Now, maybe it's something that you relate to in your own experience. Maybe you've seen other people around you do it. I certainly have many experiences in my own life where I have caught myself playing the game at pretty good and had to have a real hard look at myself in the mirror and go, if you are destined for extraordinary, why are you putting up with this? And so this is what I really want to focus on in this video, share with you what I discovered as to why so many high achievers stay stuck at playing the game at pretty good when they could be playing it at such a higher level, what to actually do about it, what I did to actually break that cycle and what so many people can do. And most importantly, how to stick with the change. Because we are wired not for success, we are wired for survival. And so when we start to create change, when we start to step outside of our comfort zone, everything in us is shouting no. So how do we overcome that? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video. Now, we are a growing community here. We've just passed 5,000 subscribers, which is such an incredible moment. So if you are one of those subscribers, thank you so much for supporting this channel. It means the world to me. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. Your support and encouragement as we go on this journey, we are a new channel, just is so much appreciated. And thank you so much for taking the time to do that. Okay, so let's get into this. So why do so many high achievers not play the game that they know they can be playing at, and why do they stay stuck at just being good? Well, this is something that a psychologist known as Gay Hendricks became absolutely fascinated with. Now, it is not the same Hendricks as the gin drink, but it is a psychologist who really was obsessed with wondering, why are people not living up to their full potential? So really fascinating to research this. And what he discovered was it's down to something called the upper limit problem. So let me share with you exactly what this is, how to spot it in your own life with some key examples, and then what to do to overcome it. So the upper limit problem is literally when you have a desire, an aspiration, a goal that you've set yourself, but you don't believe that you deserve it. So think about this. We talk here a lot on this channel about money, financial success, financial freedom, abundance, because in my experience, in my knowing of having worked with so many people around the world, if we want to talk about self-empowerment, we've got to be talking about financial empowerment. It is freedom, it is options, opportunities, it is the ability to say yes or no to whatever you truly want. So let's talk about someone who wants a certain level of financial income. Maybe they want to go for that 6-figure income and they're working in a corporate job, but they didn't grow up from that kind of family. They came up with some really bad money beliefs about money is only the root of all evil, that only greedy people are rich, that it's really hard to make money. So they're in this job, there's an opportunity for them to get promoted, get a big salary upgrade, but they don't believe they're deserving of it. Even though in their day-to-day, they could be doing a great job, even though their boss might think they're doing fantastic. If that employee does not think they are deserving of that promotion, A, they might not even go for it. But B, even if they did or if they're nominated for the promotion, it is highly likely, based on the research, that they are going to start self-sabotaging. Because as they get closer to that reality of the promotion, it is going to feel so uncomfortable to their nervous system, to their mind, to the internal wiring in their body. There's gonna be such a disconnect between how they view themselves, their self-identity, and this new reality, that they will start sabotaging that success. And that can look like all of a sudden they're missing meetings, they're missing sales targets, they're not turning up to work on time, their work is not as good as it used to be, maybe they're more moody at work or more snappy with colleagues, they're not having the best interactions with clients anymore. It can look and it can manifest in a number of ways. But the key thing to know is this is all within your control, all within your power. Now, I've seen the same thing firsthand in my own experience and having worked with so many business owners too, when it comes to owning your own business. If you are used to a certain level of income and then you increase your sales prices, but you are not yet aligned with that new sales price, you will, and I know this firsthand because it happened to me when I first started business, having increased my prices, self-sabotage your own success. You will butcher sales calls. You will push people away energetically with your energy online by not answering messages, by not turning up and really selling, because you have this belief that you're not worthy, you're not deserving of this new price point. And so it is absolutely fundamental that when you set a desire for yourself and you set a goal for yourself and you know deep in your heart that you are capable of so much more, that you make sure that you look inward first. Because yes, set the goal. I got my goal sitting here right in front of me, but I can tell you for damn sure, every single day, I am looking at that goal and I'm saying, do I believe that? Do I expect that for myself? And if there is any single part of me that is coming up and saying no, I'm sitting down and I'm doing my journaling, I'm doing my EFT tapping, I am doing nervous system work, nervous system regulation. So I've got all my internal wiring on board with that goal. So when the opportunity presents itself to manifest that goal, to fulfill that opportunity, I can step forward with absolute confidence and take it, right? So it's so key. This upper limit problem, it is stopping so many high achievers, incredibly ambitious people who have incredible potential. It is stopping them short from achieving that because their inner work isn't done yet. Now, if you are someone who is like, I want to make sure that my inner work is up to date, be sure that you are subscribed to this channel. This is exactly what channel is all about. The inner work, the mindset, especially when it comes to finances, money, looking at everything in the realm of abundance. Become aware, take a moment, share it in the comments, let me know. Is there an area in your life where you might be self-sabotaging, or that you are realizing, actually, I have this goal, but I haven't done the work yet to really believe it and expect it yet? Let me know, let me support you. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Okay, so assuming you now know what it is that you are self-sabotaging on, maybe where your self-identity and your goal are not aligned, now let's look at what do you do about it, right? Because awareness is key, but it's not enough for change. So this is where we really delve into understanding that first, our whole mind, our whole body, our whole system is wired for survival, not success. So what does that mean? We are hardwired to stay in our comfort zone. So what does that mean? Well, it means that we need a lot more than just a little bit of motivation or a bit of a good old willpower in order to move forward consistently. Because sure, willpower can get us up in the morning, maybe on Monday and maybe on Tuesday. But on Wednesday, if we're tired, if we have an excuse, willpower, motivation fades, and it fades fast. So how do we override that to ensure that you are set up for success and you're actually moving towards your goals and overcoming that upper limit problem? Well, this all lies really in your habits, right? Creating your next level routine, your next level habits for your life. And these are things that I like to look at as your absolute non-negotiables in your day. Just like maybe waking up in the morning, like going to the bathroom, brushing your teeth, having a shower. It's not even a question in your brain anymore. It is a non-negotiable. Like, I am not walking out the door without my teeth brushed. Like, that would just be so insane to me. So we want to put in place habits that are aligned with your goals, that have the same level of, it is a no-brainer that I'm doing this every day. So take a moment and think for yourself, whatever your goal was, like, what habits would best align to support you achieving that goal? And maybe it is getting up an hour earlier. Maybe it is first thing in the morning, I get out and I go for an hour walk. And that is my time to think, to brainstorm, to clear my mind, to move my body, get my body oxygenated. And that is a non-negotiable for me. I don't care if it's raining. I don't care if the sun is out, the wind is out, whatever weather condition, I'm getting up and I'm getting out. Now, putting in place new habits is amazing. It's an incredible first step. But the second thing to really superpower this or supercharge this is to also audit the habits you already have. Because if you're putting in place these new habits to support you moving forward, we want to ensure that there's no habits already in place that are actually going to be pulling you back. Maybe there's a habit, for example, that last thing before you go to bed, you're scrolling through your phone, you're on YouTube Shorts, and before you know it, you have a whole hour wasted and you don't even know where it's gone. And you've had your eyes exposed to all that blue light, your mind is really active, and it takes you ages to go to sleep. And that's obviously a habit that won't support you with installing your new habit. So audit ruthlessly the habits you already have, the things that you do on autopilot that maybe you're not that proud of. Like, I don't love when I see myself scrolling through social media mindlessly and I catch myself and I think, oh my God, 45 minutes gone down the drain. how have I let this happen, right? It really frustrates me. That's something what I try and bring more and more awareness to. And so auditing your habits, the ones that don't support you, so that when you install new ones, that they actually stick, is key. And then here's the key tip to make all of this work. Track them, right? There's so many productivity apps nowadays, but even just keep it in your phone, in your notes, on your calendar, like first thing every morning. Set an alarm for it, whatever you need to do to ensure that you can tick that off every single day. Like, this is done. This is a non-negotiable. Now, beyond just having new habits in place because they're going to help you move forward towards your goal, there's something else happening that really is so powerful. And that is, it is changing your identity. Now, Warren Buffett credits some of his success to the fact that he commits to reading 5 hours a day. And so that is not just to gain new information. He has literally now adopted the identity of someone who is obsessed with learning, with self-growth, with self-development. And as a result of that, he is someone who is constantly growing. And so beyond just having the new habit, also what it will give you is a shift in your identity, because now you're someone who prioritizes moving their body. Now you are someone who, for example, if you were committing to learning something new every day, watching an hour of something informative every day, maybe watching a new video here on this channel or my finance channel every day, you are now committing to learning, growing. You are someone who sees themselves as valuing their personal development, valuing investing in themselves. And I can promise you, when we start to shift our self-identity and how we see ourselves, we walk differently. We interact with the world differently. You will be posting in the comments differently. I will sense the change in your tone of voice. I can guarantee it, because when that identity shift changes, everything else changes like a waterfall. It is so much easier. Okay, so you've brought awareness to where your self-identity might not be supporting your goals, where things need to change. You've begun to look at your habits, the ones that you can put in place to support you, the ones that need to go that are not supporting you, and then you're going to track them. But to really ensure that you are achieving your transformation within at least the next 90 days, there is one key missing piece that we must address, and that is accountability. How do you ensure that you stay on track? Because everybody can do something for a couple of days, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. But what about 3 weeks' time, 4 weeks' time? What about when the weather changes and family responsibilities come up and work demands change, right? Life happens. And so we have to ensure that we are set up to ensure that no matter what is happening around us, we are staying on track. So how do we do that? Well, the University of Scranton showed that 92% of people who set New Year's resolutions fail, right? 92% of people. That is incredible. That is absolutely extraordinary. These are people who set good intentions, had good motivation, had good intention of keeping them, and failed. How do we ensure that you are not part of that kind of percentage? Well, this is what I mentioned, accountability. But self-accountability is not always great, because we are talking to ourselves and we have our inner voice, we have our inner demons and our inner angels that sometimes can tell conflicting stories. So what is a better approach? Well, I'm going to share with you 3. The first is public accountability. Share this with someone. Share what your new habit is going to be. If your goal is to reach a certain income level and you want to achieve a certain level of financial freedom, maybe then the new habit is, I need to start learning how to invest my money. I need to start learning improving on my financial literacy, know how to manage my money, know how to make more money, which, by the way, is exactly what I show people how to do. And I'll link details down below. You can find out more about that. But if that is one of your goals and that is one of your new habits that you want to install, is to commit to an hour a day of learning, then you share that with someone and say, I'm going to commit to this and I need you to hold me accountable. But let me give you a top tip. Do not let that accountability partner be your life partner, your person that you're married to or you're in a relationship with. Why? Because they love you too much. And so if you're tired, if you don't feel like it, maybe you're just having a hard day, they're going to say, I know, honey, don't worry about it. Pick it back up tomorrow. They are going to be too loving. You need someone who is going to give you a loving kick up the ass and ensure that you actually stay on track. So find someone who can do that for you. It is one of the reasons that I invest continuously in coaches and mentors, because it is a third-party person who I have to show up and see every single week and talk to about my progress on my goals. And I do not want to be turning up saying, I didn't do anything, right? There is a level of accountability and expectation because I have to share that with someone else. So if you can't find someone in your life, look at outsourcing, hiring a coach, hiring someone that will keep you accountable to your goals. A second amazing tactic is actually pain-based consequences. So make an agreement with someone that if you fail on this habit, you are going to have to do something that you really do not want to do. And so, for example, that might be you're going to donate to a cause that you do not support. Like maybe if you were big into climate change, you're going to put $500 into, I don't know, some lobbyist group or some organization that supports the oil industry, right? Something that might be just in complete conflict with your values and your beliefs. And so every time you think about quitting on that habit, you're going to go, nope, because if I do, I'm going to have to take this action, which I do not want to take. Now, there is another key step that I want to share with you, which is a nicer step to take. And that is actually celebrating and rewarding yourself on the journey. Don't just wait until the last milestone. And so it's like, you don't celebrate when you reach the top of Mount Everest. You celebrate at each milestone along the way. You stop and you look and you enjoy the journey. So have key milestones on this journey for when you will say, I have now reached my goal of understanding how to achieve financial freedom, or installing this new habit, or reaching a certain income level. But I'm going to celebrate at different milestones along the way. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, be sure to check out this next video here. I know you're going to love it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you over there.